Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Pigment Mk, and today I bring you another beautiful makeup transformation tutorial. Please do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. So first thing first, I'm going to be cleaning the face. The next thing, I'm going to be hydrating the skin with my Kiss Beauty Fix Spray. So I let it dry into the skin before using my moisturizer. For moisturizer, I'm using my Cetaphil moisturizer to moisturize her face. Moving on to primer, I'm going to be using my Gentle Dove mattifying primer on the oily areas on her skin. Next, I'm going to be using my Zaron hydrating lip balm on her lip. Moving on to foundation, I'm going to be mixing these two shades of foundation. This is Zaron Brown Skin Foundation and Glamsgal Foundation. I'm going to be listing the shade in my description box. So next, I'm going to be spraying the face before blending. I started from the other side of her face, and I used my beauty sponge to blend the foundation. Next, I'm going to be locking it up with the same Kiss Beauty Fix Spray. This would help the foundation not to shift. Then I let it dry. I let the spray dry into the skin. Moving on to contour, I'm going to be using my Merak Wise foundation in the shade 04 to contour her face. So next, I'm going to be blending it with my beauty sponge. So after blending, I'm going to be applying my cream blush. I'm using these two shades from my Blossom lip palette and apply it above her contour and a little bit on the tip of her nose. So next, I'm going to be blending it with my beauty sponge. So to highlight her face, I'm going to be using these two shades of concealer. This is LA Girl Pro Concealer and Flawlessivy Concealer. So I used the Flawlessivy on the outer corner of her face. Then I added a little bit of the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Creamy Ivory on the inner corner of her face. Then next is to blend the concealer on the highlighted area. So next, I'm going to be setting the concealer with my Merak setting powder in the shade Ginger. But before I set, I went back with my beauty sponge to blend the areas underneath her eye. Then next, I'm going to be using my puff to set the concealer on the highlighted area. So next, I'm going to be using my Milani compact powder in the shade Light to set the rest of her face. So for dry contouring, I'm going to be using my Royal Powder palette. I'll just take this shade here to set the areas I applied the cream contour. I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in So next I'm going to be using the same shade to contour her nose. Then I went back with my powder brush to dust off the excess powder and blend everything together. Then I went ahead using my fix spray to set the face. This will help to reduce the brightness on the face and help it sit properly. So next I'm going to be drying it up with my fan. After drying it, I'm going to be baking. So I'm using the same setting powder I used to set her face to bake her face. Moving on to the brows, I'm going to be using my spoolie brush to brush her brows first. Then I went ahead using my brow balm to lay the brows nicely. So next I'm going to be using my carrot gel liner to outline her brows. So next is to highlight her brows. I'm going to be using my Flawlessivy concealer to highlight her brows. So next I'm going to be blending the concealer using my blending brush. To highlight the top of her brows, I used the foundation I used on her face to highlight the top of her brows. So next I'm going to be using the same Milani compact powder to set the concealer underneath her brows. Moving on to eyeshadow, first thing you want to prime the lid. So I'm using my Viange eyeshadow eye base to prime her lid. Then I added a little setting powder on the outer corner of her lid and underneath her eyes to avoid fallout from the eyes. So for eyeshadow, I'm going to be using my Blossom eyeshadow palette. I'm just going to take this shade here, applying it from the outer corner of her lid, blending it towards the inner corner of her lid. So next I'm going to be using my Cali Chic eyeshadow palette. I'm just going to take this shade here and apply it on her lid.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden
So next I'm going to be using my eyeshadow blending brush to blend to avoid any demarcation. So next I'm going to be using this dark brown eyeshadow from the same Cali eyeshadow palette and apply it on the outer corner of her lid.
Taste all the highs and the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really want to hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side,
then I went back with my eyeshadow brush to blend everything together again.
I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay.
So next I'm going to be using the same brown eyeshadow palette and apply it on the areas underneath her waterline just to smooth that area. So I went back with my eyeshadow powder palette. So I will take this shade here and apply it on her brow bone area. Moving on to the next eyeshadow, I'm going to be using this Huda Beauty eyeshadow palette. I'm just going to take this shade here and apply it on the inner corner of her lid. Then I went back with my eyeshadow blending brush to blend everything. So next I'm going to be using this pigment. I don't know the name, but it's almost like the same color I use. So I'm just going to apply it on the inner corner of her lid. So next I'm going to add in this shade from MK Pigment. So next I'm going to be lining her upper and lower lash line with my Carrot gel liner. So next I'm going to be using my Zaron mascara to prep her natural lashes and also give it volume. So next I'm going to be using my powder brush to blend her face again. Moving on to blush, I'm going to be using my House of Tara blush palette and apply it on her cheeks. So next I'm going to be using this small blending brush to dust out the excess powder on her face. Then I went back with my powder brush to blend everything together. So next I'm going to be wearing her these lashes from Chi Lashes. After that, I'm going to be setting her face again with my Kiss Beauty Fix Spray. So next I'm going to be drying it up with my fan. I let it dry properly, dry very well before moving on to highlight. So I'm going to be using my Mavels Glow Dust to highlight her face. I'm just applying it on the areas I want the highlight to pop. So for the lip, I used a nude color first, but I didn't like how it came out, so I decided to clean it up and apply this red instead. So next I apply this pepper red in the middle because I want the lip to be popping. Then I added a little body and glow TM essentials on her face, just a little, so that her face would glow. So I'm just gonna let the glow absorb properly into the skin before I spray the face for the last time. So next I use the same Kiss Beauty Fix Spray to seal it up. Then after that I let the face dry properly into the skin. You have to let the face dry. And this is the final look, guys. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please like this video, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.